go over gold too. Yeah, I'm gonna go over some stuff. Gold I know is moving right now, which is honestly gold ended up looking pretty clean. We'll take a look at it.
Se você já está em lá foi
God, they update Zoom so
está em
much.
chat comigo
Here it is. Okay. You guys see my screen okay? Just give me a yes before, please. Yes, perfect. Okay. First I'll cover
Yok bile kese daha evde oktay telefon çıkıp
Aussie
kilo
trade
bu zaman kesçi
I
attım
took
diye
today.
işte telefon çıkıyor mutlak
Go on the
etmeye
5 minute.
tel
Okay. So
açsın lazım.
ends up, yeah, and honestly, a nice clean move. Let me just mark out New York Open so we get an idea. Just to like you guys know also. So New York Open 8 a.m. I tend to get on the computer, or I make sure I look at the charts usually a half an hour before the open, at least. Just to get myself ready for open. So I don't know if that helps you guys. I don't know if some of you guys trade London or not, or just only New York. But just for me, from what I've done, what works for me is if New York Open 8 a.m. I usually hop on 7:30, in between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. I usually give myself like that 30-minute window just to get everything ready, get in the mindset, and then just get ready for the session. But yeah, starting off on Aussie here. So you can see kind of like choppiest price action, printing a high, printing a low, like respecting lows, again, printing another high, selling off, respecting the lows over here. So continuously just like respecting lows and respecting retail. Mark out some lines here. So from this high, or sorry, from this low, we come up, print a new high, taking out previous. And then if you look down below, sure, these areas can give reactions and stuff, but if you keep following down, like where is the liquidity? So follow on with this price action. You can see we took this high out, price came down, respected this retail, respected retail, moved away, okay? Printing a new high, taking out previous. So just structurally printing highs and lows and continuously respecting it, okay? You can see we end up running this build up here, okay? But what do? We end up just respecting structure. This respects this, okay? And then, again, just like the liquidity series, we move away. So after we move away, I know that we now have liquidity below this low. We'll cover, obviously, this after, but what do we have right below the liquidity as well? So again, this low respects this low, moves away. We have a liquidity block left right below. So very good confluences when we have, so in a buy scenario here, we have liquidity built above a liquidity block. And this is like just textbook stuff. All right. Currently, when we were trading here, look how we had liquidity built above a liquidity block. So then this could have been a little scalp buy if you wanted to just take this to here or here, one of these highs. But same thing in this scenario, just a bigger picture. Build up, liquidity block. Okay. So we always talk about it. If you want to take the extreme, there has to be some sort of liquidity block to take it off of after the liquidity is taken. So that would be right here. Before we get there, let me just discuss the price action before New York Open. Okay, so in London, we get that sell off. Actually, I do want to discuss even this sell because this was kind of clean. Obviously, I don't trade London, but I like to look through the price action sometimes. Okay, cool. So you can see these lows here once, twice, three times, all respecting this whole area on the left-hand side. Just bringing in buyers into the market. So I'll just draw this whole red box out to show you guys. But again, once, twice, three times. Every time we respect it, move away, just know that we're just building more liquidity below this low. Okay. But yeah, following on with the price action in London here, we take out this high to induce buyers, then price sells off to trap them, okay? Taking out this low. And then I sent this chart in the group before, and I said, if someone can send me a marked up chart of AU sell. I do not want to be taking this sell here, okay? Reason being is because now essentially we're sharing the retail, okay? Because since we've taken out this low, this is naturally going to be an area that is going to be where sellers want to be looking to take entries from. don't want to be taking these sorts of entries because we don't know when retail is going to get respected or when it's not. So we'd rather, what we want to see is liquidity built, and then we'll be looking to integrate all that later. So again, we do not want to be taking entries here. I'll draw a red box just to let you guys know that this is not a place we'll be taking entries from. Instead, we get a run on this liquidity. Okay. Why is that important? When we took this liquidity out, this now forms a liquidity block. Okay. This is important now because if our system, essentially like a confirmation-based entry, is given to us in this area here, this will provide us a entry, meaning we can take an entry off this whole area because it's a liquidity block. We're not going to have liquidity above here, okay, per the system. But we need to see some sort of trap occur first, which happens right here. Low taken, okay, which tells me sellers want to be taking entries here. And then we get high taken, and we have liquidity liquidity block right above. So this would have been a sell like this, just like that, and then target this low here. You could wait for the actual like last liquidity point, but you don't need to get always too greedy. Do we know this low is always going to get taken or not? You'll never know, right? So just pay yourself accordingly. That would be definitely more than enough of a target. It ends up running obviously for the bottom one, but just for example purposes, we don't need to be targeting the last point of liquidity, right? But yeah, entry here is good. Again, I will not be taking entries like this. This one is a lot better for me to take it off of. Okay, targeting all of that liquidity that's being built right here. Okay, so that was the sell entry in London. New York, let me get rid of this line here. I'll get rid of open. Going to the 5-minute. But yeah, check this out. So for how long? 2 hours of New York. Look at this liquidity we built. Right at this low. Okay, remember, this is just liquidity right now. It's already been respected. It's moved away, which tells me now we're going to have liquidity below this low. And that great confluence of us having a liquidity block sitting right below, meaning let's wait for this low to get ran at 0.67318. You could take a buy as soon as that's stabbed, just like this. Stop loss below the liquidity block. Oops. Below this liquidity block where my cursor is, right here. Targeting highs here, intraday highs, these to the left-hand side. And then finally, like I marked out in the Discord, you have that final target being up here. Okay. So as we know, that is usually the extreme entry that's available if there is a liquidity block to the left. If you weren't able to take this, like we always talk about, you'd simply just wait for a entry to get built for us on the lower time frames here. Okay, so let me mark this here. So build up a liquidity there, finally gets stabbed. After that liquidity is taken, okay, nice reaction coming off the liquidity box on the left-hand side. We go long. Really simple stuff here. This is going to be known as a trap. Obviously, we do not want to be selling from here. We can anticipate false reactions. Okay, and then very simple stuff. We take out high. We take out low. Liquidity block right below. Take your buy. Stop loss below the liquidity block, and you have intraday highs here. Or intersession, you could say. And then you have, like, look at all this liquidity we've left over here. Boom. And then finally, you got some more highs that we marked out. The structural high being over here, which we run for. So if you were able to take it to these guys, even partial 80%, 90% here, you get a nice 1 to 3.5, and then to the highs over a 1 to 4. Okay. Clean stuff. All right. Both 2 entries per the system. Worked out perfectly, this being the extreme, because there was a liquidity block to the left, and then confirmation-based entry after the liquidity is taken to the left. Okay, so 2 clean entries, opportunities given on AU here. I would not be taking this one. Hope you guys understand why. We've taken out this high. Okay, after this high is taken out, any more buy entries, even if it does go long, even any other buy entries are just gonna be low probability. Okay, so these ones are good here and here. This one, I hope you guys all realize why that is low probability. Okay, everyone good? Cool. Yeah, very simple stuff. Honestly, and very, very clean. You have the extreme again and the confirmation. So 2 opportunities given to get involved in this one. Okay, cool. So that is Aussie all done. Where do I see this thing going now to? I don't know. Like we have this high that we've now traded above. Maybe we get bearish price action. Run maybe, I don't know, down here. Possible. But I'll have to wait and see. Now that my buy setup is completely done, I just need more price action to build. And I'll have another setup for maybe tomorrow or the following day, whatever it is. But Aussie is done for me right now. Okay. Head over to US 30. Okay. Look at this price action. Jesus, you honestly have to just even go to the 1 minute because of how wonky it went for a bit. I'm just gonna replay it to here so we don't have to look at everything. Perfect. So just like Aussie, price takes out this low. Okay. Why is this important? Sellers are induced now. Okay. We can anticipate reactions back at the high, which is exactly what we get up here. This is what we want to see, because now that we've respected this high, moved away, we have liquidity up here. Okay, so we have a target in mind. And the opposing direction, look what we had given to us. Today's Wednesday. Yeah. Yesterday, Tuesday, we take out the high, price sells off, returns back to the low. And coincidence, we respect retail and move away. So literally, guys, just look how easy this can be. I grab the point where the liquidity is. We have a liquidity block right below. This is going to be a buy right here. Okay. And targeting the high. And if I could just zoom out and drag it all the way over. Look how easy this can be. Internal ran. Target the high where we engineered the liquidity at. Just like that. And this was like a 20-minute trade. Just false sell-off to the lows. Massive run back up to the highs. See how easy it can be? Literally, just wait for liquidity to get engineered at the highs. Now we have a target. You wait for lows to get taken in the opposite direction. We purposely set up this liquidity yesterday for today. So yesterday, if you were trading Tuesday in the PM session, you're like, oh, like, but I don't understand. Like we just respected retail, moved away. It's all done on purpose. It left the liquidity for today. So that's why it's important to stay patient. Trust the system. Sometimes we build liquidity on a Tuesday and it's ran on Thursday. Like these are just things that happen. So stay true to the system. Understand that this was all respected on purpose, moved away, built liquidity below this guy here. You mark out that low. We got a liquidity block right below. Simple stuff. Hammer buy as soon as we go below that low. And you have liquidity targets on the opposing side of the market. Easy, clean. Yeah, honestly, super straightforward, this one. Let's go to, I wanted to look at gold because this thing ended up making a move now. Okay. What's the first step to anything we want to see is that buildup occur, right? And what do we get here? Market reacts off the low to the left, reaction up. Okay. Even looks like, wow. I can see it here on the, we'll even go on the 5 minute, but that sell-off looks pretty good. I didn't even look at this before. Takes out the lows to induce sellers, takes out all the highs. Okay. And then this is trap. me see what it looks like in the 1 minute if there's a pullback entry. If you're able to take it like this, I don't know if the RR is going to be nice though. Stop above your liquidity block. Realistically speaking, you could easily target this low down here. Yeah, still catch a nice 1 to 4.5. Clean sell. And then I believe, was there a nice New York sell? Oh yeah, there was a nice one. Let's check this out. I was looking at this earlier. This internal liquidity point right here, taken out. I also believe this one was too. So look at this. We have low taken, retail gets respected here. So I think we can mark this out. Does it get taken? No, it doesn't. Obviously left for this to end up getting taken. But we take out this internal. So what would I do personally is if we took this high out I have marked out here, so at 25.14, what do we have right above? Liquidity block, right? So this could have been a possible extreme entry like this. Right? Same concept applies. When that liquidity is taken, we have a liquidity block right above, opposing liquidity on the other side of the market. Simple stuff. Fortunately, the extreme entry did not work here. So this one didn't happen. There is no extreme entry available in this trade. You'd have to wait for some sort of confirmation-based entry, and we get high taken, liquidity block. Then we sell off to the lows. Look at all this liquidity we've left. And the market just purposely respects it, moves higher. On a very small scale, this is going to be harder to see because this is M1, 2, and it's hard to see. This price action is all like order flow, right? So like low, high, low, high, low, high. This high respects this high over here and moves away. Look, this high here respects this high and moves away. Okay. Again, what does that tell me? We now got liquidity above this one. So I'd probably mark out this high here. The unfortunate part is the stop loss would have to be all the way like that. I don't know if the RR is going to make sense. You can still catch a 1 to 3. But let's just say there wasn't, the stop loss was too big. These are the situations where you just have to get a little more greedy, wait for price to come a little bit higher into this whole general liquidity block area, like meaning this. So wait for price to come a little bit higher, and then it'll force the RR to be a little bit better, and you have a better gain out of it. The problem is doing this sometimes is you risk the chance of not being tagged in, right? So that's why I always tell you guys I like taking it when the liquidity is taken, which you could have done here because the RR did make sense. So this is how you could have taken this sell. Again, stop loss above the high. Beautiful liquidity to the downside to target. This low respects the low to the left and moves away. We got liquidity below this guy now. Okay, simple. And then the buy that ends up happening. Let me get rid of all this. So Tuesday low, end of New York, again, respected this low, moved away, like we were just discussing, telling me now we got liquidity below this guy, okay? What do we have below the liquidity? Coincidence? Liquidity block. And if you want to refine it a little bit more, look at that. Grab that last low, you have an imbalance right below. Price ends up stabbing through this liquidity, grabbing this inducement low. There's an imbalance. The start of the imbalance right there on the 15, and we got liquidity block below. As for entries, I haven't really looked yet, so let's take a look here. If you were to take an entry like this, stop below, see what the RR is. You would have hit a 1 to 3. You'd have to target these equals up here for it to be a 1 to 3. Because it's a higher time frame based entry, your stop loss is a little bit bigger, right? 82 pips. Wow. 82 pips, but this is already moved 250, which is crazy. Was there a confirmation based entry, guys? I don't really know. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, sort of, right? Nice. Price respects high up here. Okay. Comes down, prints this low, yeah, we end up using that as liquidity, respecting the liquidity block here and moving away to the upside. So if I was to, ooh, this is a tough one. This low ends up working out, or sorry, this ends up working out nicely, obviously. I would have been a little bit sketched out to take a blind entry below here. I would have really liked to see something like this happen. So this high respects the high to the left-hand side, moves away, and I would have taken something maybe like below here, right? You got a liquidity block, and a nice buy would have been boom, and then long. Let's see. Oh, wow. Look at this. Price comes up, respects the side to the left, moves away, hunts for internal. Look what we do. We end up taking out this internal point. What do we have right below? Liquidity block, and then there's a continuation. A little more difficult, this one, but again, same thing always is occurring, right? Leaving this internal liquidity point, you got a liquidity block right below after the high has been respected to the left-hand side. So once this high gets taken, you got to be paying yourself, or you got to be managing your position at least, right? Because now that we're taking out these highs, we can easily get a sell-off back down to at least here or something. So that would be your entry. You'd risk a BE or a loss. But yeah, gold ended up being pretty clean, to be honest with you. Let's check out the higher time. Oh yeah, what am I doing? This higher time frame is on the moon. I forgot. Yeah. What this thing's gonna do now, I'm not too sure. So just like we usually do, just wait for that build up to occur, guys. Just like this. Look how we had a whole build up occur here on the higher time frames, moved away, and then the story just makes more sense. Leaving this, and then playing with the price action built for us here. Now that we've had this whole big bull move, just gotta wait and see what happens now, right? This liquidity is taken. Okay. We've taken out these highs here, which now maybe could cause us a pullback. We're respecting these highs to the left. So we'll see what happens next. But yeah, buy ended up being pretty clean. Extreme would have been, again, the stop loss was quite big. So tough, but still clean. Same thing with AU. Remember, build up and you have the liquidity block right below. All right. Any questions, guys? Any other pairs you guys were looking at today? Let me know. I know GU was just, yeah, it's just on the moon right now. Some of these pairs are just so high, like on the higher time frames. You just gotta wait for these bottoms. Like I remember there was some people trying to take trades yesterday or something, and like most of the pairs were just at extremes and bottoms and tops. And like guys, when you're on the lower time frames and the higher time frame is at an extreme, when the higher time frame is at an extreme and the lower time frame is at an extreme, you're just asking for problems because you're just trying to predict bottoms and tops. Why would you do that? Why not just let the bottom or top print on the higher time frames? Everything gets so much more easier. The problem is you guys you don't want to stay patient sometimes. So stay patient. Remember, quality over quantity. Some people like to show up to every day and want to take a trade every day. It's not the way to do. It's not the way to do things. Would you took that EU sell? I would not take anything on EU. Just like I was talking about. This thing is on the moon. Take too many trades sometimes. Yeah, man, quality over quantity. I used to be the kind of had that mindset of the more trades I took, the quicker I'll progress, but it's literally the complete opposite. The less trades you take, the more you'll progress. It's hard because everyone's like they're so eager for progress, especially in the learning stages. So they're naturally on the charts so much more, taking more trades than they should, thinking that it's just going to speed the process up, but it'll only slow you down, for sure. But yeah, look, GU, it's just you just wait for that top to print, guys. That's it. The higher time frame, like look at right now on the daily, just continuous bullish candles. So if you're not in this swing position, just wait. Okay, look at the 4 hour. Wait. It's so much easier once like there's current price action built for you. When you're just trying to predict tops and bottoms, you're just gonna burn yourself. I only ever predict tops or bottoms on a continuation. That's it. not on a reversal type trade. So like right now, this would be a reversal, but let's just say there was some sort of continuation. Like when price, let's say price came below this low, I'd be looking for extremes down here because it's a continuation. I would not be looking for extremes up here. It's because they could just have a bearish candle, continue go up, bearish candle, continue go up, and you're just gonna get lost. Stay patient. But yeah, Aussie ends up taking out high to the left, so we'll see what happens now. Let's check out. I don't know if anybody. Some people look at this pair. I don't know if. Nothing I like. It's just continuously respecting retail. So look, this low respects lows to the left, moves away. So what do we got here now? Liquidity. So just wait. Yeah, ass. Exactly. Just wait. Just building liquidity on both sides. That's it. Cool. Anything? Anyone else taking any other trades? Any other pairs? This is what's on my list. I'm not saying. So you asked me what main pairs I trade. I can't speak. I got 5 on my list right now. No worries, brother. We'll talk soon. I got 5 pairs on my list. Gold. Let me stretch this out so we can see. Gold, euro, pound. So it's all like US majors. Okay. I'm not telling you guys to have 5 pairs on your list. This is a lot easier for me to do due to my experience, and I possibly have more discipline than you guys. When in the learning stages, 2 pairs max should be on your list. That's it. 2 pairs max. And when I say that, it doesn't mean you're flipping between the 2 pairs all session. When you sit down your computer, let's say you sit down for New York, 30 minutes before the open, you pull up your charts, you break down higher time frames on both your pairs. Whatever one you're more confident in, whatever one you could possibly see a setup coming in, you stick to that one for the session. And let's just say the one you chose didn't have something clean. The one you didn't choose had something clean. Don't let that fuck with your head, thinking like the next day you're going to come back, you're going to bounce between both. You're not always going to have a perfect session. Like you're not always going to pick the perfect pair, find the perfect setup. Trading isn't perfect, okay? And you have to remind yourself of that. The most important thing in this game is capital preservation, and people don't remember that sometimes. So I definitely recommend learning stages, minimal pairs, 2 pairs, and then maybe once you have more experience, 3. But it's almost unnecessary. I have more just because a lot of guys in the group trade different pairs, so I look between all of them and help people out here and there. Mainly, I'm trading gold, euro, and US 30. Okay, those are like my main. But again, I won't ever I won't ever trade anything other than the majors. So, US cross pairs. Like I don't care about GJ and all those other pairs, to be honest with you. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? What are some of you guys doing right now? You doing challenges, demos? What are you guys doing? Talk to me. Let me know if there's any problems you guys are having mentally, like on the psychology side of things. All good. Hope no message is a good thing. Just off topic. 1 second. Challenge failed my second stage. Too many trades. Okay. So, oh wait. Here, well, before I get to that one, I missed one. Just an off topic question, bro. Did you quit your job before going all in trading? I made sure. So I was in the trades. I don't know if you guys all know what that is, but I was in plumbing. So when I left my full-time job, I was able to still work on the side, meaning I would trade in the mornings. I live in Canada, so New York sessions in the morning. So I trade in the mornings, and then after I finished trading, I would go and do some plumbing work on the side in the afternoons and evenings to make money while I was learning as well. So if you are not profitable yet, please do not quit your job to go all in trading. Quit your job when you're profitable and you have a good buffer in your bank. Okay. And that doesn't mean you pass your first funding account and you have one funded account and you just think it's the all end all and you just quit your job. Please do not do that. You'll know when it's time to quit your job. Okay. Please don't rush things. If you don't have a job and you're looking to trade, it only slow you down as well. I think I was okay. Since I was making money on the side in plumbing when I was learning trading, it allowed me, it kind of gave me like more peace to my mind. Because I still had money coming in on the side, right? If you don't have any money coming in and you're all in trading, like it'll make things more difficult because you'll be rushing things. You'll feel like you need to take trades to make money. And yeah, it makes things more difficult. But yeah, to sum that up, you'll know when it's time to go full time. Okay. Make sure you got a buffer in your bank. Make sure you have another source of income, some sort of source of income coming in, whether you're working part-time somewhere or you have another little project that gives you a little bit of money on the side. It's important to be making a little bit of money. It makes trading 10 times easier when you're not so focused on the money side of things. Okay. Challenge failed. My second stage, too many trades. Okay. So too many trades. I think from my experience with teaching, that is probably the killer for a lot of people is taking too many trades. Please have a strict rule set written out for you, a plan written out, meaning you only take 2 trades max per day or 2 losses max per day. Or maybe you have a risk rule, meaning you won't go over 1% for the day or you won't go over 1.5% for the day. So if you like taking a couple of trades, that's fine. Just if you're down 1.5% on the day, that is your complete cutoff. And when I say cutoff, you have to follow that rule. So a lot of people are like, yeah, like 2 trade limit. Let's say Thursday comes along and they take 3, which means they broke the rules, but they're a little bit lenient. That means you're going to get lenient with other rules. You'll eventually continuously fall off all your rules. So have your rules written out, your plan written out, and follow it to a T. Okay. Don't get lenient on specific rules because then it'll be inconsistent and then you'll say screw it to some of them and it'll just be a mess down the road. I definitely make sure you have a trade limit in place or things will just be a disaster. Less than 1% away from passing phase 1, send signals, please. This guy. I'll ask Charlie for signals. Look at this guy right now. He'll send signals tomorrow. He's ready. For me, because I have the time to trade both sessions. Yeah. Another thing I feel like is trading both sessions in the learning stages could be a little bit of an overkill as well. I feel like it's best to choose one and stick to it. But yeah, maybe I'm different. Maybe you're okay to trade both. I definitely recommend having, like I said before, trade limits in place, meaning maybe 2 trades per day max. But yeah, let's slowly learn. Yes, sir. Yeah, bro, completely makes sense. It completely slows you down for sure. Sometimes I take L's in London, and then New York provides good setups, which I overthink about, and end up missing. Would you recommend I just see? That's another thing I was literally just gonna say was, some days London's gonna be terrible. Some days New York's gonna be great. Some days New York's ass, and some days London's great. There's not one session that's personally better than the other. It all like just find out what you like and stick to it. There's some days I wake up in the morning for New York and I'm like, fuck, New York looks like ass right now, but London has so many good trades. What am I just because of one day of price action, I'm just gonna change everything around? Like I mentioned before, trading's not perfect. So there's never gonna be one session that's better than the other. Pick what you like and stick to it over a long period of time. Try it out, see how it works for you. Exactly. I agree. How long did it take you to become profitable? I've been in trading for 2 years. Honestly, okay, so how long did it take me? It took me a lot longer than usual. I went through a bunch of BS in the beginning. I bought like a shit ton of support and resistance and trend line courses. And then I was part of that whole Astro FX scam. So I went through a lot of unnecessary valleys and bullshit. But that's why if you're new to trading, I promise you guys the content that's given to you guys in this course, like this is all you need. what it comes down to is once you understand the system, just master your mindset, and I promise you, things will become so much more easier. But yeah, it took me a lot longer than I wanted. Maybe like I have to look back at my pictures, 2, 3 years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good foundation for sure. You didn't go through a lot of like, man, I spent thousands and thousands and thousands on like stupid. Like when I mean thousands, I mean probably like 10K on education when it was like unnecessary. The problem is I didn't know anybody. I met everyone I know in trading now just through my journey, right? So Riz, Abid ended up meeting me and now we're close and stuff like that. But like I met everybody I'm close now in trading with through my journey. When I started day one, I didn't know anybody at all. So everybody I know now in trading is because of my journey. So unfortunately, I had to go through a bunch of bullshit, which it is what it is. I'm blessed to be where I am now, but yeah, it's unfortunate that I had to go through a couple of years of studying and applying just like bullshit concepts. But it is what it is. It's all necessary at the end of the day. Luckily, I've been in Vipers. Yeah, that's good though. Vipers is a very good place to start. And honestly, I know people that are profitable with smart money concepts. All it comes down to the psychology at the end of the day. All worth it in the end. It is 100%. And like what people don't realize is, what month was it? Last year, I think it was last year in September. I think September was my biggest trading month ever. Like I made all the money I've spent on education times like 3 or 4, and that all happened in 1 month. And that's all it takes sometimes. When things click and like you start getting funding accounts, you have 2, 3, 4 accounts, and you're making consistent withdrawals. Like, dude, all it takes is like 1 month. All the money you guys spent, whatever was on the like on the journey, education, if you went did stupid signals, whatever it is or something, but all it takes is 1 month, and you'll make all that back. These prop firms, they're not. Some of them will be here long term. That's why it's important to just make what you can with them. Put it into a personal account, if that's something you want to do. But yeah, the prop firms are also a great thing to be using right now. Milk them as much as possible. What I do personally is I'll get a couple of accounts going, like 3 or 4. And as you guys know, there's usually like a 7 or 14 day period where you can't withdraw. So I'll make a couple percent on this account, move on to the second account, make a couple percent, move on to the third, make a couple percent. And by the time I get to the third or fourth account, the first and second are receiving payouts, and then it's just rinse and repeat. Go back to 1 to 4, and then go back to 1 to 4, and then you're always having payouts come in. That's the best part about having multiple accounts, in my opinion. That's how I've made the most money out of prop firms. Ever do a plan on doing me? For sure, for sure, for sure. I'm looking to go to the UK end of next month. Riz is running. I'm sure you guys saw like that charity marathon. So I told him I'd fly out. Well, I'll try to fly out and do that with him. Maybe when I'm out there, we can host like a little meetup over there. But yeah, I'll definitely look to do some stuff in the future. Have you been banned or rejected payouts for? So no. Well, actually, once they said it was a mistake, but I've only ever worked with firms that I know that I trust. So meaning, I don't want to say I'm lucky, but I'm blessed to have Riz in my life. Meaning he works with Alpha, as you guys know. So if I am to ever have a problem with Alpha, I can reach out to Riz, and sort some problems out. Which I'm very blessed for. Which goes for you guys too. If there's ever any problems, I can reach out on your behalf and try and sort things out. I doubt there will be. Firms like Alpha and FTMO are very like we can trust them. They've been around for a while. I like where they're going with things. Alpha has like some top dogs running the company, like guys from like hedge funds and stuff. So they don't F around. If you don't break rules, they'll pay you. But yeah, I've only ever had one payout. This was with my funded FX. I think it was like 4,500 payout. They sent it to me, the payout, and then immediately after they sent it to me, they emailed me and said my account's been breached. It's like some weird scam shit. And I messaged some people I know that were affiliated with my funded FX, and they sorted out the problem immediately. But other than that, no, I've been good, luckily. But like I said, yeah, it all matters where like what firms you work with. Like some people are like, oh yeah, I'm working with this firm because the challenges are so cheap. But if the challenges are so cheap, finally you work so hard, you get funded. and they don't want to pay you, like there's no point of cheap challenges. Go with the trusted firms, right? Even if you have to pay a little bit more money for the challenges, at least you know your money's pretty safe with them. But yeah, boys, I think that's everything. If you guys have any other questions, today ended up being super solid, honestly. Couple of good trades across the board. But yeah, what's news looking like the rest of the week now? Thursday, tomorrow. Okay, we got quite a bit of news in New York tomorrow. 8:30, so half an hour to open, and then an hour 45 into open. Friday, more news. We got that dickhead Powell speaking. Just at 10 a.m. And then also some CAD news. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on Friday. But yeah, we got news. Honestly, guys, I like news days more. I feel like lately we haven't had too much news. Let's check this out. So today we did. Yesterday nothing. Monday nothing. I believe like Friday. Yesterday is very, very light in news. When there's no news, like the volatility is so ass. I'm not saying full port before news events, but what I'm saying is usually when news events occur, there tends to be a lot more volume after the event is announced, right? So there's a lot more opportunity. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the rest of the week gives us here. Tomorrow, like I said, 2 sets of events in New York, some Euro, and then a little bit of news on Friday. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of the week's got in store for us. But yeah, for those of you guys doing challenges, again, I recommend those 2 firms, Alpha and FTMO. If you go to firms elsewhere, it's out of my hands. I can't help you if there's problems or stuff like that. Those 2 firms, I can say I can trust. All right. But I'm not saying, again, it's not 100%. Nothing's ever going to be 100%. Maybe FTMO goes under tomorrow. God knows. But at least you go with the firms that are trustworthy. All right. Cool. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I will see you back on the Discord tomorrow, and then we'll have our weekly webinar on Friday. All righty. Okay, guys. I will talk to you guys tomorrow in the Discord. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for the call, of course. Ciao, guys.